When it comes time to move, expand, or upgrade, there's a lot that can go wrong with network and security systems. So picking the right partner is crucial. So today I want to give you 12 questions you should be asking your partner before you decide to hire them. When we meet with new potential clients, we hear a lot of different complaints about their relationship with the past vendor. Sometimes it's about response. They're just not happy with the level of response they're getting from the current vendor. It might be an email response or phone call that doesn't get returned in a timely manner, or it could be response on getting on site and finishing a project. Another common complaint is the fact that the system that was designed isn't really meeting all the requirements and accomplishing what the customer set out to accomplish. Unfortunately, there's a lot of companies in low voltage who don't do a thorough discovery process. And what the customer ends up with is a system that's not getting the job done. And unfortunately, they're stuck with that system for years after they've spent so much money on that system. The very first question you want to ask is, what verticals do you specialize in? When you're going to hire someone for a project at your organization, it's really important that you hire someone who has experience working in your environment. Whether it be a school, an office building, a warehouse, a retail location, a stadium, a hospital, etc. You want to hire someone who has the experience in your environment because they're going to be able to add value. They're going to be able to show you things that you may not have thought of. They're going to show you what the best practices are for your environment. And so asking that question up front is very important. The second question you're definitely going to want to ask is, what are your capabilities? There's a lot under the umbrella of low voltage systems. We have network, we have security, audio and video. Depending on your project, you may want to consolidate all of those systems under one vendor, one integrator. What does that do for you? That allows you a lot more efficiency, a single point of contact, and basically a lot less hassle while you're managing your project. Question 3, what are your response times? Very important. We want to know, what kind of response times can we expect when it comes to communication? What's reasonable? What should we be expecting when we send you an email? How soon should we expect to get a response or a phone call? Another response time question would be, what's our lead time on your projects? How long does it take you usually to procure equipment? Is this stuff already in stock? Are you going to have to procure it, and what kind of lead times are we looking at there? In addition, what's your lead time for showing up on site? And then lastly, what's the schedule look like for this project? How long is it going to take you to get it done? These are all questions sometimes that get missed. And then as you get into the project, you're realizing you've got a deadline and you're not going to hit it. So being proactive about asking about response times is going to help make your project a lot smoother. Question 4 is about coverage area. You want to make sure and ask your partner what their coverage area is. Whether it's just regional, statewide, or nationwide, depending on how many locations you have and where those locations are, you definitely want to try and find a vendor who can cover all of those locations if possible, which is going to amount to a lot less hassle for you again. Question 5, you want to ask your partner, what does your process look like? They should be able to give you a clear picture of what the process is when you start working with them. Here's step 1, step 2, etc. If they hesitate or don't have a dialed in process, that just means your project isn't going to go very smooth. So this question will allow you to start seeing whether they have a dialed in, proven process that leads to the outcomes that you're looking for. Question 6 is about, who will you be working with? Who is your point of contact? Throughout the project, you're going to need updates. There's going to be things and questions that arise. It's important that you've met the person you're going to be working with and that you know they're going to have the ability to communicate with you in a timely manner. At some companies, the owner of the company does everything. And in those scenarios, sometimes they're not very much available when it comes to communication. At other companies, you could be dealing with 3, 4, or 5 different individuals throughout a project when it comes to communication. So knowing who you're going to communicate with, meeting that person, and making sure it's someone you're going to like working with is very important. Question 7 is about warranty. You want to understand what's included and what's not included in the warranty. What's the term of the warranty? Are we looking at 1 year or 5 years? Does it cover parts? Does it cover labor? What things are excluded? For example, if we need a lift in order to reach a camera, would that be excluded? Would we get billed at an additional cost for that? Those are things that you want to ask up front to make sure that you're getting the warranty you want. Question number 8 is about getting a demo. You want to ask for a demo up front during the process of deciding who you're going to choose for this project. It's important that you and the people who are actually using the system get their hands on the system, see what it's like to use it. Again, you're going to have this system in place for years to come. So making sure it's something you're going to like, that it's user-friendly, that it's not going to create issues for you rather than solve issues, is something you got to dive into and spend time on. It's very important to ask for that demo, get it scheduled, and then you can decide on whether that's the right system for you or not. Question number 9 is about core values. Every organization has a set of core values, whether stated or not. They run by certain values. And so for us as a company, we like to work with customers who have similar core values, who value communication, who value trust, who value relationships, for example. Looking for a vendor that matches your core values will make sure that you're going to have a smooth and enjoyable experience. Question 10 is about quality. You want to ask your partner, how do you control quality? There's different stages and steps in controlling quality. It starts at the very beginning. It starts at the very beginning and should be done all the way until the end of the project. It's important that your partner that you choose has a process for controlling quality and that you know what that process is. Question 11, what do their reviews look like? You want to spend some time online going through the reviews. Hopefully there's pictures there. There's some credible testimonials there. You want to look at what companies they're working with. How often are the reviews coming in? What's the quantity of the reviews that they have? How many bad reviews do they have? Do they look credible? You want to get a picture of what their reputation is like. This is a great way to build trust and for you to understand whether or not you're working with a credible installer. Question 12 is to check the references. At this point, you've asked this partner a lot of questions. You have a good idea of whether it's somebody you want to hire or not. The last step here is to make sure you check the references. Make sure the references are in the same line of business that you're in. If you're in the warehouse, make sure you're calling people who also run a warehouse. Ask them how their experience was. This is the final step, but it really closes the deal and gives you some peace of mind. So after you ask your partner these 12 questions, you should really have a good idea of whether or not this is a company you want to hire. Don't put your project at risk by hiring a mediocre service provider. Make sure you hire a company you can trust. Give us a call today or reach out through our website.